What's up guys, today we're going to talk about Anthem. In this video particularly we're going to be referring to the early game and the story. I will be making a second video on the end game content to be posted at a later date. The points we're going to hit on today are the clunky gameplay, loading screens, forgettable weapons, not a seamless open world, server disconnects, and a huge disconnect in the co-op. So let's do this. One of the main positives Anthem has going for it is the gameplay. It does a good job of making you feel pretty badass in your javelin of choice, and it gives you the freedom to play to your strength, be it close quarters combat or keeping your distance. As of right now, I'm a big fan of the Storm Javelin. That being said, the gameplay can feel very clunky at times. The environment is very sticky, and friendly javelins can easily disrupt your gameplay just by simply being near you. The best example is, if you're running and a friendly javelin gets too close, you'll just stop running. This can be very annoying, added to the fact that your javelin's boosters have a way shorter lifespan than expected when flying. So you spend a lot of time landing before you overheat and then launching back into the air. And when you're trying to keep a solid flight pattern of land, run, launch back into the air, fly again, that momentum is easily interrupted. That can be very irritating. And the other issue, making the gameplay feel pretty clunky, is the very unresponsive feeling controls. It gives you a lot of control over your javelin's movement, be that boosting, flying, dodging, hovering, etc. But there is a severe lack of fluidity while switching between the movements. There's a lot of situations when you're about to launch some sort of power attack and suddenly you need to dodge instead, but find yourself stuck in the animation and unable to cancel and get the hell out of dodge. This can be infuriating while fighting the Titans, currently the most powerful enemies. They have many difficult and some undodgeable attacks, and getting stuck makes it that much more fucking annoying. Loading screens, loading screens, loading screens. Anthem definitely has a lot of loading screens. This creates a huge disconnect from the open world. I definitely got the feeling from the trailers that the open world would feel much more seamless and, well, open, but there are a lot of loading screens everywhere. There's a loading screen to get from your base to the selected mission. Okay, I'll give them that. But then straight to forage from your team and loading screen. Enter a cave, loading screen. Exit the cave, loading screen. End the mission, loading screen. Back to base, loading screen. Enter the forge to edit your javelin loadout. Guess what? Loading screen. Exit the forge. Loading screen. They are everywhere. And I understand that sometimes loading screens can be the best option in order to free up system resources to make the loading process faster. But Anthem is creating a huge,
I have a huge company. A huge
disconnect from their open world and the missions with the excessive loading screens. BioWare has addressed the issue from what I've heard, so only time will tell. So far in the early game, the weapons, well, all the loot for that matter, seem very forgettable. There doesn't seem to be anything special about the early weapons and mods available for your javelin, but I do want to stress that this is the early game we're talking about. Mostly common, uncommon, and rare, so there definitely is a chance that in the end game this will completely turn around. But considering I'm over 30 hours in and just completed the campaign, that's a lot of time spent with boring weapons. In Anthem, the weapons are a big part of the gameplay and your javelin. The weapons seem basic, with nothing really to set them apart or make them desirable. You've got your basic choices of pistol, semi and full automatic, submachine guns, rifle, semi and full automatic, machine guns, regular rifles like marksman rifles, and launchers. Some weapon types are specific to certain javelins. For example, this would be like heavy assault launchers for the Colossus. Obviously, I will revisit this issue when I review the endgame and spend more time with the other javelins. One of Anthem's biggest issues, which doesn't really need a lot of explanation, is the lack of a seamless open world. Anthem is dead set on this recipe of talk to a person, get the mission, walk to your javelin, select to launch the mission, complete the mission, rinse and repeat. This, with the overabundance of loading screens, creates a huge disconnect from the open world that has been created for you in Anthem. When you're in the base, you really don't feel like that open world is right outside those walls. One way I feel they could remedy this is with the Division, is kind of like what the Division does, where you can go get the mission, you do the same thing, you can talk to somebody, you can get your mission that way, but to choose the mission, you don't feel separated from the open world. You can go out into the open world, you open your menu, find the next mission, select it, you can find people to play with, you can choose what difficulty you want to use, and then you can just go into it, but you're always in that open world. This is an issue that I really feel needs attention sooner rather than later. Before I get into my next point, I would like to apologize for my excessive use of the word disconnect, but it definitely is an ongoing theme in the many issues Anthem is plagued with, and the disconnect from the story missions and the fellow javelins you play with cooperatively, that's huge. A lot of the dialogue between you and the NPCs you interact with make it seem like it's just you out there. Yes, I know you meet a few other freelancers, that's what they call javelin pilots, along the way, but the mission dialogue makes it feel like you're going to be flying solo. I really enjoy playing cooperatively in games, it is my favorite multiplayer option, so I just wish it didn't feel so foreign when you actually load into the mission and there's 3 javelins right next to you.
Who are those guys?
Finally, and probably one of the worst disconnects in Anthem, is the server disconnect. This is an issue that I've felt multiple times in the short time that I've played so far. Luckily, the disconnect is quick, and once you connect back to the servers, you are greeted with a window letting you know that you're in the middle of something, and you can launch straight back into that. So far for me, it's launched me back into the exact same game with the exact same teammate. But I'm worried that as you reach the end game and the stakes become much higher, a server disconnect could mean missing out on high-end loot and even the XP that you deserve. So for those of you on the fence about Anthem, I would strongly recommend waiting for a few months to see if BioWare and EA intend to stand by their new IP and build on the base game that Anthem currently is. If you really can't wait and you own an Xbox or a Windows 10 PC, Origin and EA Access offer affordable ways for you to start playing right now at $4.99 for a 10-hour trial or $14.99 for unlimited full access to the game, as long as you keep paying your subscription. For those of you who think I've missed something or something you don't agree with, please don't hesitate to leave a comment.
Seriously, do it. Do it. Do it.
Obviously, I'll keep you guys posted on the state of Anthem with the endgame video to follow in the next few weeks. And you can also stop by my live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube, or Twitch and Mixer if you prefer. And for those of you who've stuck with me to the end of this video, I appreciate you. Thank you for sticking with me this long, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.